So today we're going to be going over Kenzo Aqua, and the reason why I want to give this one some coverage standalone here is because it has a lot of similarities to 1 Million Lucky, which now is unfortunately a discontinued fragrance, and that's been confirmed by the brand themselves. So from what I've seen, this one's probably going to be around for a little while longer. There's a ton of it out there. We're talking Paco Rabanne. They've probably produced a lot of it, right? And so, you know, it's probably going to float around. You can still pick these bottles up for a normal price. They're not going up in price yet. I will link it down below to a couple spots for you if you still want to get a bottle or a backup bottle of 1 Million Lucky. Now would be the time to do so. But I also want to kind of turn our attention to a cheaper alternative and an in-production alternative. Now there are differences between them for sure, which we'll go over, but you'll find when you first spray this one on, you could tell what it smells like right away. This is also one of those deals where this came out in 2018 and this came out in 2018. So you really don't know for sure, you know, which one actually came first, but you know, who really cares? It's kind of one of those deals where now there's only one standing anyway, so let's talk about it. So when you first spray this one on, what you get right away is this kind of hazelnut sweetness, this kind of sweet spiciness, a little bit of a tonka bean in here, sandalwood, kind of has a more playful smell. You know, that's what 1 Million Lucky is all about. That's what this one is all about. The note of hazelnut kind of gives it a little bit of a gourmand feel as well. And all of that may sound very strange when you look at the bottle of this one, and even more so the name, Aqua. It's literally Kenzo Aqua. Blue bottle, you know, Aqua in the name. It'll throw you off at the opening. But that opening is where you really do get that 1 Million Lucky similarity. The hazelnut tonka bean sweetness, a little bit of vanilla you can pick up on as well. Now where this one starts to kind of gain its own unique feel is as you start to move into the dry down. From there you can kind of pick up on some watery notes. It's kind of mid/dry down. The watery notes, to be fair, really doesn't make this one aquatic. So by some people's standards, the name would be quite misleading here. You know, it doesn't go in that direction. This is kind of a different take on an aqua fragrance. And Kenzo is pretty good at kind of doing some stuff that's out of the ordinary a little bit. This is the perfect example. You do pick up on some of that apple, some of the bergamot, the watery notes, that sort of thing, kind of adding a little bit of a freshness. And it does kind of give it a little bit of a warm weather feel. We'll take a look at the full note breakdown. We have pink pepper, apple, bergamot up top, hazelnut, watery notes, green notes, sesame in the mid, tonka bean, sandalwood, cedarwood, amber, vanilla, and musk in the base. So those base notes there, the woods, the cedarwood, sandalwood, that sort of thing, even the amber and vanilla are there kind of giving it a backbone, you know, kind of giving it some strength in the dry down. The hazelnut is what's giving it that kind of gourmand sweetness, which ties it into 1 Million Lucky. And what else do we got? Watery notes and green notes with the apple kind of giving it that freshness. That's kind of where this one falls into. One thing also is the pink pepper, and that kind of gives it a little bit of this spicy pop when you first spray it on. So what are the differences? Well, mainly when you take a look here at just the scent profile, the Kenzo Aqua will of course be a bit fresher. One thing that, you know, this does not have is like the honey in 1 Million Lucky. So I want to go and pull the note breakdown of that one up just to cross-reference. 1 Million Lucky, it's got plum, honey, and ozonic notes in there as well. Some of the kind of hazelnut comes through also, you know, which is kind of the thing that makes 1 Million Lucky what it's known for. There's also notes like amberwood, cashmere wood, patchouli, oak moss, and the base of 1 Million Lucky, which we don't really have that here in Kenzo Aqua. But you get the idea. I mean, when you spray it on skin, on tester strip, in the air, whatever, you can really tell that, yeah, there are definitely more similarities than not for sure. So, I mean, you know, the sweetness of Lucky is quite a bit. So the sweetness of Lucky is quite a bit more, and some people are going to prefer that. Some people are going to prefer the Kenzo. Between the two, the Kenzo will be a little bit more grown up, a little bit more fresh, probably going to appeal for the people who don't like heavy doses of sweetness, whereas Lucky, it's sweet all the way through. You know, there's freshness. You know, the plum kind of gives it this fruity, different twist, but still very sweet. The Paco Rabanne really does smell like a Paco Rabanne. You know, it's got that loud sweetness. In terms of performance here on the Kenzo, for me it's been falling in right at around 6 hours usually is where it is, longevity. Now this one is an eau de toilette, and so for that concentration and for the fact that it isn't a Paco Rabanne or some other designer brand notorious for having strong fragrances, you know, that 6 hours is about what you would expect. Also for the price point, I'm not really complaining. The sillage, the projection is going to be a little bit softer as well. And one thing that's important to note is if you do wear this one in the heat, it will project strong for sure. You know, that sweetness will really come to life in the heat and it'll push out. If you're just wearing it in climate controlled environments where it's, you know, 68, 70, 72 degrees, somewhere around in that general area, the projection is going to be kind of on the more moderate side. And price point can be kind of all over the board. It depends on where you look. Usually it's going to be on the cheap side, affordable. I'm talking $30 to $40 for 100 milliliter. Now, I don't think testers come with caps. One thing to keep in mind. So if you can live with the bottle that looks like this with no cap, you can get a tester and usually save probably a good chunk of money. If not, you know, if you want the cap, they still shouldn't run for too much more. They shouldn't get to the point where they're, you know, going for $85 for 100 milliliter like 1 Million Lucky is going for. And again, it's important to keep in mind that that's not going to be that way forever. As the stock dries up on Lucky, the price is going to go up a significant amount. So this is kind of going to be our saving grace, our cheapy option to a now discontinued fragrance, especially as that one gets more rare. But really, for price point, quality, all things considered, I think this is a good pickup, Kenzo Aqua. I really like it. I'm a fan of Kenzo fragrances. I like everything from Jungle to Low to Kenzo, and there's a couple other ones that are more citrusy, great for spring and summer. You know, a little bit of a different twist on that as well. And even this one here. It's important to note, this is not your typical aquatic, so don't get your hopes up there. It's really not. It's different, but you know, that 1 Million Lucky kind of comparison is nice. Now, it's also important to note that it's not going to be one-to-one clone either, but still heavily inspired and heavily similar. All in all, do I think Kenzo Aqua is a good pickup? I think it is. You know, this one here is kind of cool because if you have 1 Million Lucky and you like it, and you buy 1 or 2 backup bottles, but you know, not everyone is going to want to buy tons and tons of bottles to wear for years and years and years. That's a lot of money. It's just really, it's not the way to go unless you want to do that. I'm guilty of buying multiples of things, but for the average person, it's not really what they would do. And in that instance, this one is a good pickup. You could save your bottle of 1 Million Lucky for special occasions, or you know, wear it just every now and then, and you could hit your bottle of Kenzo Aqua much harder. It's cheaper, it's in production, all of that good stuff. And also the Kenzo, it's going to be a bit more warm weather appropriate, but you could also swing it into wintertime as well. 1 Million Lucky is going to be too sweet for most people to wear in summertime, but in a summer evening, you could pull off Kenzo Aqua a lot easier. So I think that's going to do it for me, guys. Kenzo Aqua, I like it. You know, it's got that 1 Million Lucky thing going, but with its own twist. The bottle looks cool. It is misleading to name the bottle, but hey, you know, if you want something that has some similarities here and there to 1 Million Lucky at a fraction of the price, and that is currently still in production, check out Kenzo Aqua. We'll provide links to both of these down below for the best prices. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.